How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to part 21 of our Unity and Node.js tutorial series. Today we're going to be going over a couple fixes to our lobbies that some of you have run into, I've run into, some of you haven't run into yet. And I just kind of want to just nip it in the butt right now and just kind of showcase to you guys the fix and what you guys might be experiencing if you're experiencing now. So, what we're going to be fixing today is currently in our lobby system, when we create a new game lobby, we're giving the game lobby an index, some sort of ID so we know who to connect to. The way this is calculated is based on the length plus 1. So some people, including myself, have experienced issues where game 1 starts, game 2 starts. So we'll say each game lobby holds 2 people. So we'll say 2 people have joined game 1. That game is now in progress. The third person joins game 2, and he's waiting, or they're waiting. The first game ends, and now one of those players wants to join a new match. So in theory, they should be joining player 2. Because both players have left the first match, that lobby's now been closed. And when this new player comes in to join, instead of joining the player 2, they actually get assigned to a new lobby. And so that player 2 that was sitting there waiting the whole time just kind of sits in a ghost lobby that no one ever connects to. And it has to do with our indexing and how we're using this length here. We could change this to, this global counter that we're doing. But the best way I've found to solve this is actually swapping out this and swapping out our lobbies array into what I was using before called a mapped array. And if you remember from very earlier tutorials, we used to actually map our players into a map array. And essentially it looked like lobbies at player ID is equal to player. So we're going to be doing a very similar technique. The idea behind this is that lobby's no longer going to have a 102 index applied to it. It's going to have a random short ID applied to it, similar to the players or any server item that gets spawned. They're all going to have this short ID. We're also going to assign the starting lobby that everybody joins to, the hub, the entry connection, whatever you want to call it. We're going to call it general server. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow, if I just scroll up here, you can see that for the lobbies, they're going to have a random ID. It's kind of hard to tell which one it is. We don't honestly care. If you want to attach to this ID what the game type is, that's fine. So it could be like random characters plus free-for-all, if that helps you. Doesn't really matter. You'll see here, if I scroll up a little bit farther, we're going to name the first server that they join as general server. So this is going to be all very back-endy stuff. We're not actually going to touch the client at all. And we're actually just going to be dealing with 3 classes to adjust this fix. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be removing this ID. So let's just get rid of her. See you later. Bye-bye. So we need to get rid of that from game lobby. So while I'm here, I'm going to disable the AI. Just kind of gets in the way a little bit. If you guys want to also disable the UI or the AI, you guys are welcome to. So we're going to come up to the constructor. We're going to remove that ID and remove it from super. Super is referencing lobby base, so we're going to go into here. We're going to remove ID. ID is getting set to our ID here. We're going to replace that with a short ID. So let's bring in short ID. We're going to say that it requires short ID. It's already a library that we've imported before, and we can simply say short ID dot generate. Beautiful. Okay, so now when we create a lobby, it's going to generate us an ID. Perfect. Let's go over to here. This is looking good. We disabled the AI. All right, let's deal with our server. So because now we have a mapped array, we're going to have to change this to a mapped array. We're going to have to delete the lobby a different way. So let's just kind of start from top to bottom and work our way down here. So the first thing we're going to do is change this lobby. It's no longer mapped to 0. We're going to map it to one we call general server. And the way to do that is delete this bad boy here. Just give her the good old boot. So we're going to say this general server ID is going to be equal to general server. Beautiful. Okay, now let's create the lobby that we just deleted. So we're going to say start lobby is equal to a new lobby base. We no longer have to pass the ID in. That's why we don't have to pass 0. And then what we're going to do is we're going to override the ID. So right now when we create lobby base, it's going to come in here. It's going to generate us one of these random IDs. That's fine. But it's much easier to tell if somebody's in the hub if we call it general server. So after it's generated the ID, we're going to say, you know what? We're going to override this. And we're going to override ID with this general server ID. Beautiful. And then the last step is we are going to say this.lobbies, and we're going to do our first mapping change, and we're going to say this.lobbies at this general server ID. So we're going to map it by the ID. In this case, it's a variable we've already stored. In other cases, it could just be the lobby.id as well. But we already have that variable there, so we'll just make it super easy so you understand. And we're going to say that we're going to store our lobby in there. Beautiful. So that handles the hub where everybody connects. Let's move on down to the first thing. So the nothing to change and update. So in the unconnected here, the first thing that I see is a player. And if I open up the player class real quick, you'll see that the lobby it connects to is 0 as its first lobby. And it's no longer that. And instead of going into the player class and just calling this general server, maybe you want to rename it down the line, I don't know. We are simply just going to wait till after we create the player class, and then we'll say that the player.lobby, so the one that they're connected in, is going to be equal to the server.startLobby.id. And this could be is equal to this.general server ID. I just like using, it's like, well, we already have the start lobby already set up. Let's use its proper ID. Beautiful. Okay. So, nothing else I don't believe to change here. We're going to create the player. It's going to join the lobby. We're all good. Let's go down to our disconnect here. So, our disconnect. And you can see an example of the deleting a map, like a mapped connection, right? We already have examples of that. So you're going to come down here to when we're going to close down a lobby here from the player. We're going to replace this splice because we can no longer use it with the map array. We're going to say delete server.lobbies at the current lobby index. Beautiful. So just this works just like splice. Essentially, if you've used dictionaries or whatever in C#, it's essentially just removing that entry. So don't worry about it. It just like sits there. It's basically working the same as splice. Because the first hub index, the general server, whatever you want to call it, is no longer 0, we have to replace this 0 with server.general server ID. Again, this could be server.startlobby.id, whatever you want to use to keep it consistent throughout. We're going to add a little safety check that I have started adding now, just to make sure that the current lobby is actually there and it's not undefined. The reason why I'm adding this here now is because in certain cases you actually can delete the lobby from within the lobby. So maybe all the players disconnected but the lobby's still there, you want to get rid of it. There's just a couple cases where the lobby actually will delete itself, or the game's over and it's like, alright, just boot everybody out and then I'm going to delete myself. So we just want to do like a double check here to make sure it's not undefined. And you're gonna run into like this sort of stuff all the time where like you're doing your server and then oh this thing came up as undefined. So you're gonna find you're gonna have a lot of these undefined checks throughout your code. Okay. So that handles for deleting, right? So we're checking it's not the general server. We're gonna delete it. Same old, same old. All right. Let's move on to attempt to join. So the one downside to mapped arrays, we can't really do a filtering technique here. We have to replace this with a different strategy. So the idea here is that this filtering returns to us an array of game lobbies, which we can continue doing the rest of our stuff. So essentially, if I can't use filtering, as long as I return an array of game lobbies, then I'm okay. So we're going to say that it's going to be an array of game lobbies. So in theory, this would still work. We just wouldn't be able to connect to anything. It doesn't have anything inside of it. When you do a for loop for a mapped array, it looks a little different than a standard for loop. It's going to use the in keyword here. I think I've explained it in older videos, so I don't think I really have to explain it too much, other than essentially when you loop through all the different items inside the map array, it's going to return us their ID, right? The short ID that's generated. We then can use that at server lobbies at ID in order to get the lobby that we want to talk to. So before I deleted the little code here to replace it, it was essentially looking if it was a game lobby or not. And essentially what it was doing was, say you had 10 games running, you'd actually have 11 in the server lobbies with the hub. The hub is a lobby base, so as long as we're looking for an instance of game lobby, then we would pull back available games for us. This is handy if you wanted to do matchmaking or some sort of queue where someone joins Team Deathmatch or Free For All or Search and Destroy or Capture the Flag or something. You could be looking for those specific game lobbies or game lobbies with settings, right? Like in most cases, game lobby might work for all our game types, and it's more things setting game lobby settings. So you could do that sort of filtering here, no problem. So we're going to say server.lobbies at ID is instance of game lobby. So this is going to essentially just do what we had before. And then if it is a game lobby, we're going to push this, because game lobbies is this is a standard array, we can use push here. We're going to push this, the lobby itself, into the array. This would then, because now it's an array and we've done our own filtering, the rest of the code will work for us, which is super handy. Let's go down here. I was saying before when we first started that this is no longer a push, so we'll go ahead and we'll change that. We'll say this is actually lobbies at gamelobby.id, and it's going to be equal to the game lobby itself. Nice simple change there. It's no longer a mapped array. We'll hit save, and we'll scroll down here and we'll make sure the on switch lobby looks good to me. And let's test this bad boy out. So I'm going to start her up, say nomon start. Local server started. Cool. Alright, so we're going to start there. I'm going to just type in Hixie. We're just going to get a couple of games going here. Just 1 second. So we're going to join. So right now you'll see I join, and when I join, we join general server, then we joined the new game lobby. We had enough players we could start, right? And then I started another client as we were doing that, and then they joined the game server there. And this guy's inside the game, and if I delete it or I stop him, you'll see here this guy left. It's close to got in the lobby. Okay, so everything's working for us. The one change we are going to do is in server here. Let's crank this up to 2. So essentially at the start of this video, I was saying that if 2 people join the first lobby, a third person joins the second lobby, they end the game in the first lobby, and then someone tries to join, they should join the second lobby. Hopefully that's not too confusing. So player 1 and 2 join lobby 1, player 3 goes into lobby 2. Player 1 and 2 end their game, so lobby 1 is closed. Player 1 tries to join a new game. They should get matched into lobby 2 with player 3, but they currently won't be. So with our fix, we should be able to do that. So if I spin up basically 3 games, we should be good. So we're going to set this to 2. Save the server. And I'm just going to put this on my other screen here so we can drag it back and forth. Okay, so I got to log in a couple clients here. So hold on just a second, guys. Okay, so Hixie1, Hixie2. Very creative names. And I'm just log into Hixie3 really quick. Alright, cool. So we're going to join the game. We go into a game lobby. Player 2 is now going to join the game, and I'm just going to kind of move our tanks around, and you'll see that that is working. If I bring the server over here, this guy joined, they left, they joined the game, right? We're all good. So this game is running. I'm going to bring in client 3 here. We're going to hit join, and he's waiting for a game. So right now, if I was to go and end the game really quickly here, and this guy, you'll notice he's still waiting for his game, like he doesn't care about the other game. If I was to come back in here, sign back in. If you didn't do the changes before, when I went to join, they both would be stuck in game lobbies. They'd just be in totally different game lobbies. But now if I join, you'll see, and I'll bring his blue screen they used to have over here, and you'll see that now we are indeed connected to that game. So everything's working. This guy never gets stuck in a ghost lobby, which is super handy. Like, that's like the last thing you want to do is get them stuck in a ghost lobby. And hopefully that kind of just solves any issues people were having before with it. And a couple things. The next thing we're going to be working on is I'm going to do game lobby states. One thing I noticed when I was looking over the project was if you had a game that was running and there was an open slot, people could just kind of join. That might be what you want for your game. Certain games don't have that. So we're going to be implementing some sort of game state into the game lobby to basically prevent people from joining the game mid-game. If people disconnect, then we'll be like switching everybody out back to the main menu and just kind of creating like this overall like whole experience that as I was looking over the project on, I have a list of like things to do next, and I was like, we don't actually have the full loop done yet. So we're going to be just kind of finishing that out, and then we'll be doing like one-off things like animation or something for that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure you guys give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe. There's like a bell thing you guys can hit too. Hit that to get notified when I release another video, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, I just wanted to make sure that I give a nice shout out to all my Patreons over on Patreon. And they're going to be in the following list for you. Arthur Zhang, Timothy McCoon, Chris Jarosco, Blue Lightning. Hey everyone, if you guys liked the video, make sure you guys click that subscribe button, give it a like, and make sure to comment. It really helps out. And if you guys are looking to support the project further, I also have my Patreon, which will be linked in the description down below. Thank you, and have a good day.